We're joined here now by Annacotty, Director of Football, Paul Burke. Paul, I suppose the big news coming out of the club this week was the appointment of former Limerick FC manager Mike Curley as a Director of Coaching. As I was saying to Jim Kenny, it's a term maybe unknown to a lot of junior clubs in the town, Director of Coaching. What will Mike's role entail with Annacotty?
Well, firstly, it's a huge, I suppose it's a huge step forward for us in terms of our footballing strategy, in that we've identified the role of Director of Coaching. So that's a big commitment from the club in terms of what we want to do as a club developing. Mike, of course, has been around the club for a long time and was a key part of our Munster Junior success and our FAI run. So Mike is a natural here. He's very familiar with all the people and he lives locally. And of course, he has a fantastic pedigree all the way back to when he played schoolboy. So it's great. It's a great opportunity for Mike. It's a great opportunity for the club. The role itself is to look at what we're doing in terms of how we grow in the next generation. So we've put a lot of effort into developing teams and coaches over the last 4 or 5 years. And now what we really need to do is get down into the bedrock of that and start looking at the younger coaches in the club, the parents who want to be coaches, the volunteers, and how can we drive on their development. And we have over 120, I think it is at the moment, registered with us who are volunteering. So Mike's role is going to be, can we work off of our Celtic training platform? Can we work off of the other educational platforms that we have? And can we get down and start developing young new coaches that are coming through, the Jason Sheehans, the Rebecca Shinners, the younger coaches in the club who have a great future in front of them. So if they can work with Mike, pick up from his vast experience across the League of Ireland, etc., it'll be an unbelievable effort for us and a huge success hopefully in the future.
Yeah, certainly, and obviously your own role is termed Director of Football and you have Director of Coaching. There were some people that maybe we'll say, a bit confused as to what the difference with the roles would be, but you're saying that Mike's role will be certainly just based on developing the coaches as such, rather than dealing directly with players like yourself.
Well, I think the real big thing here is the size of the club, so there's loads of room for loads of directors at all sorts of level. My role is mainly around the strategy, around how we bring teams together, how we implement policies like streaming, etc., and how we build the structures that allow people like Mike to be able to perform and to give him the opportunity to be able to coach and drive coach education. So it's not a conflict role or anything like that. We'll work very closely together. Myself and Mike have worked very closely together in the past. Every day now we're at it in terms of educational programs and identifying people to bring through and what are the next steps. And again, we do a lot of work in professional tournaments in the UK, in Spain. We also have a link with Celtic, which we'll always try to develop and see if we can make more out of that and bring that forward. So Mike's role will be pivotal to all this.
Yeah, the club has a booming schoolboy population and has for the past number of years, Paul. Obviously they have a lot of junior teams as well. It's almost a case of you must have barely enough space to contain the amount of teams that are here currently.
Yeah, and that's a huge challenge. We've been right up from under 6s, under 5s. We've been asked to include a toddler group in the year coming, so we're going to have to look at that. At the top end, we currently have 4 junior teams, so there is a big playing population, and it is causing the chairman nightmares, which is great for him. But again, it's for us, can we put the structures in place to accommodate that? And you don't want to overcrowd it, you want to give other clubs the opportunity as well, because the whole thing here is, can football in the region in general benefit from what's happening? And we have a really good buzz here. Saturday mornings up until when we finished up, buzzing, 85 kids an hour, maybe more, 100 at some stage. Absolutely brilliant. Young girls, young boys, all across the sections, fabulous.
Yeah, you had a player recently who's now playing with Burnley under 23s. Obviously, I assume the aim by going with this professional approach and the fact that you have so many players is that, try and progress guys to international level and girls into international level, and progress that way, Paul, because obviously in Limerick, I've spoken about it to a number of people in the past, it's probably sparse the amount of people that have played at international level at schoolboy and senior level, obviously, for the population that we have here.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a huge shout out to Dara, first of all, obviously, for his move to Burnley, which was great. Dara went straight from schoolboys to Galway United and was really successful. But you know, we can't forget in all of this John Ryan. John Ryan captained Ireland at under 15 level and is currently with Shamrock Rovers, and there's a potential for him to move cross channel as well. And that's fantastic. They're kids that grew up being coached by parents, and then we got them into a professional coaching setup, and they've progressed really well. So can we do more of that? I think we certainly have the talent or access to the talent, and with Mike's guidance, you know, who better to teach them than somebody like that?
Yeah,
you know?
certainly. It's obviously very positive news, Paul, throughout the week. Another positive is you see here that there'll be teams training this evening. You know, you're preparing for a new season. I know that there has been schoolboy games already to build from. There was obviously vast disappointment last year with the fact that the league didn't continue even into the summer when, you know, other leagues did, and I know that there was a lot of clubs disappointed with that. But there must be a great buzz around the place now and a great anticipation to get back to the league and competitive action.
Yeah, I think that's right across the board. From at the moment, the girls section is active, so the senior ladies are playing, the under 15s, the under 17s, and it's fantastic to see huge crowds coming out to watch those, and they're doing really well at the moment as well, despite the weather. And again, here last night we had our junior A's back training. Big numbers, very active session, so another exciting season in store for them, and hopefully they'll do really well. And then of course at youth level and the whole way down, and the work that Niall is doing with Carl and Shane is doing with the junior A's, etc. The whole way down along, and you know, we're even delighted to say that Sean Russell comes back into our reserve setup in the coming weeks. So it's fantastic all across the board. There's a huge buzz, there's huge anticipation, and hopefully it'll go well.
I was speaking to your joint captains on the evening anyway, Killy Maloney and Evan O'Connor, on the night where, you know, the Munster Junior Cup was displayed as well as other trophies, and I did ask the question that obviously winning that Munster Junior Cup was brilliant for the club, but the next step I suppose will try and be as consistent at Junior A level to challenge for that league title now, will it?
Well, I think if you look at the last probably 4 years and where we've progressed, you know, we've progressed really well at Junior A level. You know, an FAI Junior Cup semi-final, very unlucky on the day. It was a penalty call that cost us. Into the Junior Cup, great run. We were unfortunate, I suppose, we lost in the FAI away to Fairview, eventual winners. So there's great progress and there's a great buzz around that. So we have to keep that going. The Munster Junior was a huge achievement for the club and all the work that went into it. But as you say, it's only a day out. So can we build that sustainability? And can we fend off the likes of the Treaty Uniteds and the Limericks who are coming to take our players and continue to bring through our own players here and move the whole thing along? And I think we can. I think we're building that platform.